Hey there, folks. Welcome to the first day of August. Very nice to have you here in the broadcast. Something unusual we're doing today. We haven't done really this before, where we go live on the final day of early bird registration for the Ice Cream Association's big event, Conecon 2023. So we've had a lot of flurry of activity in the office here. Last night was the closing of our entries for our ice cream clinic and our Flavor of the Year competition, as well as the Flavor of the Year non-dairy. We have a plethora of boxes going out. So today we're actually going to talk a little bit about making ice cream and talking about Conecon. Now, if anybody's on, can you just give me a thumbs up or a yellow hand to say that you can hear me okay? Anyone on? We've got in that little top box, it should say if somebody's on. One of you, we got good? We got a thumbs up? We got a this? What are we doing? Thumbs up there. There we go. Look, if you're joining us for this little ice cream making session, why don't you type down where you're tuning in from? City and state, city and state. We'd love to have you just kind of say, hey, I'm representing Nashville, Tennessee, or Brisbane, Australia. So pop your city and state in there. Again, our goal today is we're just going to do some live ice cream making. We're going to talk about the ice cream industry. You can talk about the recipe. You can talk about production. If you have questions about Conecon, then now is the time to ask them as well. Tonight at midnight, early bird registration closes for the convention. So we're only talking about another 10 hours, 10 hours. You're going to save $100 per person by registering before midnight central tonight. So if you still have some questions about the process, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about if you're watching this and you've tried to book a hotel room and have found out that the hotel is no longer the discounted rate. It's actually about $300 a night. Two things. One, I told you so. I got in nice and early and said that you need to book your hotel room quickly. And we have about 1,400 hotel rooms that have already booked out. First time in association history that I can remember in 20 years that we've booked out our accommodations in less than 2 months. So second thing about that, though, is that we are in negotiation with the hotel to negotiate some more rooms at a discounted rate. So we'll get back to you on that. Keep an eye on the association Facebook page or reach out to the association. Cheese. Hey. So let's talk a little bit about making ice cream. And again, if you have any questions on the way, just type them in the chat. I think we have people tuning in from Facebook, from YouTube. So let us know if you have any questions. We do want to highlight some of our sponsors in this process. So we are going to start with a frozen custard base from Lloyd's of Pennsylvania. Madeline, let's go with a pan down so we can see all of the beautifulness that's happening here on the prep table. Now, we're using a 10% custard base. And a lot of people say, well, you know, should I be using a 14%, a 16%? I can move the table if you want. But honestly, I don't think customers really pick up a difference between a 1 or 2 or 3% swing in butterfat. So we're using Lloyd's of PA, again, proud sponsor of this year's Conecon event. You can see them in the booth. A lot of mixed people there as well. Great mixed people. Lloyd's are backing the association again with a sponsorship this year, so we thank them very much. We are actually going to make just a small batch today of what we're going to call a triple chocolate chip. Triple chocolate chip. So we're going to use the Carpigiani unit, which is a smaller unit. It's about a 12-quart barrel. Again, thank you, Carpigiani. They are sponsors of this year's event. So we don't need to do a big container of product. We're just going to do a nice short run. And we're going to run 4 quarts of liquid mix. 4 quarts of liquid mix. Again, this is a frozen custard mix, so it's got about 1.4% egg yolk by weight, 10% fat. Again, it qualifies as an ice cream because of its FDA standard of identity, 10% fat. So you can call it ice cream, or you can call it frozen custard. If you're using it in a batch freezer, I probably would go through the process of calling it ice cream. The beautiful fresh ice cream here, a little bit of egg yolk in here to help emulsify and keep all of those ingredients glued together. So this creates our base. Now, what we're going to do is add our chocolate flavoring or chocolate base to our dairy base. And then we've got some chocolate also to add post-extraction. So before I mix anything into here, I'm going to take a little bit of my mix because I've got some Cargill. I pronounce it Cargill. You pronounce it Cargill. Cargill. Anyway, we've got some Cargill cocoa powder, and that's going to create one of the flavor profiles for our triple chocolate. Any comments, questions, concerns, ladies? Questions yet?
No questions, just comments. Steve, the man with no head.
The man with... Yeah, okay, righto. Some people prefer it that way, whoever that was. Who was that, Elizabeth?
Cheryl.
Troublemaker. I'll be looking out for you at Conecon, Cheryl. Anyway, we're going to take a little bit of our mix and we're going to stir in our Cargill cocoa powder. Again, Cargill, thank you for your Conecon sponsorship. The reason why we're doing this is because when you've got cocoa powder, it mixes a lot more efficiently, I should say, in a smaller container. And you can also let this hydrate a little bit. When I'm making ice cream, I'm really big about if you're using any kind of powder. So, for example, if you're using Pre-Gel, for example, are a sponsor of the Flavor of the Year competition. They have a lot of great powdered products. Talk to the powdered companies and powdered providers as how to do it the best. I personally like to hydrate any powder that I'm using. So we're going to basically hydrate over in the corner here, this powder, while we continue to prep over here. Now, I've got as my flavor profile, I can use a number of different products. iRice has a great paste product called Double Dark Chocolate or a dark chocolate paste. You can put this in here and make basically your white base a chocolate base. And some stores will order this and basically have a white base and a chocolate base that they're ordering from their mix supplier. I know Lloyd's, the mix that we're using, does both, a chocolate and a white base. But you can make your own chocolate base by using these flavor profiles that we're talking about today. I think what it does is allows you to just order one base and just work through that from an inventory standpoint so that you're not worried about, well, do I order 3/4 white base and 1/4 of my order is chocolate? Am I going to run out? So up to you. So we're going to take a chocolate extract. This is a dark chocolate extract. Now, chocolate extracts are good to use to kind of boost flavor. So if you're using a paste or a powder like we are, an extract can kind of give you that extra little bit of color and flavor relatively easily. So we're going to churn this in here, and you'll see instantly our white base turning to chocolate before your very eyes. Want to make sure that that's mixed in there nice. Again, the nice thing about an extract is that you've got a very easy to use, shelf stable, put it on the shelf. I like using extracts. Sometimes you don't get the most natural flavor. There are some providers that do artificial flavors and boosters. There are also some, and they'll be also at the show, that do a all-natural extract. So I've got my base here. This is kind of my first chocolate. We're doing a triple chocolate chip. And then over here, we've got our paste that's been sitting just for a little bit. And we're going to add that in here. So this becomes our second chocolate. Oh, yes. This is Instagram worthy right here. How many people we got on, Madeline? 27. Do we have any locations, cities and states where they're from? Cities and states where you're from. Put it in the comments there. We'd love to hear from you. Call them out.
We've got Oak Ridge, North Carolina.
Oak Ridge, North Kakalaki.
Yorkshire, England.
Yorkshire, England.
Yes.
Really?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City. Who's dialing in from Yorkshire, England?
Dominic, God no Robert.
Dominic, mate, you get the prize for being. Now, tell me, are you coming to Conecon, Dominic? That's what I want to know. We want to find out who is coming to the trade show here. Again, we're on the final hours of our early bird registration for Conecon, the biggest ice cream and frozen dessert trade event in the US. It's happening 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November. Tonight, midnight, is early bird registration closing. You're literally going to save $100 per person by registering today before midnight. Do we hear back from Dominic? Is he coming? Mate, don't disappoint me, Dominic. If you've stayed up this late, surely you'd be coming to Conecon. I'll make a special badge for you.
Coming to Conecon.
Nice. I'm going to make a special badge with a little British flag on it. Dominic. Nice.
We got a New Delhi, India.
We got a New Delhi, India.
Yep.
Oh, gee, this is such a... Now, let me tell you that... Can I just pan up for a little bit, Madeline? This live stream isn't going to take too long, I promise. But the beauty of this ice cream association, the fact that all of these ice cream people come together, we're all in the trenches together, we're all learning from each other. I just think it's fabulous that we have this connection with each other through this industry association. The association is celebrating their 90th year this year. So we've got some 90-year celebrations happening at Conecon. Anyway, I just thought, welcome from India. And let's throw it back down here, Madeline. And Elizabeth, any other locations we've got there?
Yeah, we've got
Belgium? Really?
Belgium.
Is someone really hacking us, or is this legit? Because this is awesome.
Someone asked, where's the show and how do I find info?
Okay, that's a great question. So the show is in Las Vegas. It's on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November. You can go find everything at conecon.org. And Elizabeth or Madeline, do you have the ability to type something into the chat?
Yes.
Conecon.org. Again, it's if you're a member of the association, it's a little bit cheaper to come. You can come as a single day ticket. It'll only cost you $100 to come to the trade show for a single day. That won't get your seminars or meals, unfortunately. We try and keep the cost down. It is an investment to come, but honestly, we have, as of yesterday, outsold last year's event, the entire attendance. In the first 2 months this year, we've actually reached that goal already. 2 months in. So it's going to be a great event. It's being held at the Horseshoe Casino on the Strip in Las Vegas, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November. There is a pre-convention day as well, where we have a first-timers boot camp. We have a master class, and we also have Cornell coming in with their food safety plan class. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but also kind of keep an eye on the 1st as well. Okay. What else have we got going on, ladies?
Got an important question.
An important question. Go ahead.
Are we having a 90s party at Conecon?
Okay, so let's eyes up here, everybody. Eyes up here. Now, we considered, so for those of you who have been to Conecon before, the second evening is our supplier party. So that's when there's a meal on the trade show floor, the cash bars are flowing. We do our auction for our Bryce Thompson Scholarship. In previous years, we've raised up to $50,000 at that scholarship, at that auction for the scholarship. That scholarship goes directly to fund employees of ice cream store owners who are members of the association. So if you have an ice cream shop and you're a member of the association, you've got college-age kids, they can apply for part of that scholarship. This year, we're giving out $40,000 in scholarship. All of this happens at the supplier party. So we generally theme it. Now, we thought about 90s, but we did want to throw back to our heritage in starting the association in 1933. So we're actually having a Gatsby party. It's not a 1990s party. We're throwing back to the 20s and 30s. So get your feathers and your fedoras, your wingtips. get ready to na 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 na. Anyway, I digress. So we're not having a 90s party, but we are having a Gatsby party. Okay, any other questions before we jump back to making the ice cream?
We've got a preview of an auction item. Old Timey will be donating another handmade handbag for the auction.
Oh, look out. Old Time Ice Cream or Old Time Creamery is donating another handmade ice cream handbag for the auction. See, this is the thing. All of these stores, you can either bring something for the silent auction, and we also have larger ticket items that usually are provided by all of our suppliers and exhibitors for the live auction. It honestly is a great time. So now I'll tell you right now, if you are not a member of the association or you're thinking, look, I can just come for one day, your single day ticket on the second day actually allows you to come to that party. So if you're thinking, well, maybe I can only make it for one day, it's $100 a day for just the trade show only. Make sure it's on the second day, the third, because you'll be able to come to that party. It's part of the ticket. Any other questions before we move on? Or comments? Okay. Let's go down to the bucket. So here we have, again, thank you very much, Lloyd's of Pennsylvania. They're a sponsor of the show. A lot of mixed companies at the show as well. This is our 10% custard base here. We've got Cargill chocolate in here, powder. They are another proud sponsor of the show. And we've also got a little bit of chocolate extract. Now, we're going to add a little vanilla. Now, the beauty of vanilla extract is that it helps to boost flavor. So we're not going to put a full ounce per gallon. We've just got about a gallon or 4 quarts here. We're just going to use a ½ ounce per gallon. Now, I generally use a ½ ounce per gallon of vanilla in nearly everything that I make. Vanilla, obviously, but chocolate, cheesecake, butter pecan, strawberry, birthday cake, peanut butter. A little bit of vanilla extract will help boost that flavor. The only thing I don't generally use it in are water-based products like a sorbet or an Italian ice. And I generally don't use it in mint. I find that mint's generally strong enough. It doesn't need vanilla. But everything else I use, I put vanilla in there. So there we have it, folks. We've got our base. We've got a chocolate extract. We've got our chocolate powder and a little bit of vanilla extract. This provides the base flavor for our machine. So we're going to go over to our Carpigiani unit over here, Madeline. So I'm going to slide this table out of the way. Let's bring the camera up first. Slide this table out of the way. And look, we utilize a number of machines down here at our facility, Carpigiani being one of them. Carpigiani also is a major sponsor, a platinum sponsor of the Conecon event. And again, we can't be too negligent in really acknowledging the sponsorship process and the support of our sponsors on this thing. So here we have, again, this is a smaller batch freezer. We've just sanitized it prior to starting the film. It's a 12-quart batch freezer. This one has a lot of functionality on it. This heats as well as heats and then cools. You've got a heating clean function. We're just going to run it on a regular setting here. Again, I've sanitized the unit. Make sure my door is shut. And then I'm going to pour. Do we want to film this as it's going in, Elizabeth? Always take the opportunity to Instagram, film, take footage of anything you do that basically will bedazzle your customers. You good, Matt? You're going to pick up and go in on it. So you ready? Ready to go? And we're going. Now, if you've got someone filming, let's get a little bit of panache to it, a little bit of the wow factor, as some people like to say. I don't really, but so there is our chocolate base. We have multiple seminars happening at the convention, a lot of them on marketing. And so, again, the investment of the full 3-day ticket, the first person ticket is a little bit, well, I should say the additional tickets, if you want to bring a spouse, a manager, a crew, they're a little bit cheaper than the first ticket. Seminars, unbelievable. I honestly think it's a great investment in your ice cream process. So our mixers in here, we're just going to hit our freeze button here. Now we can put a number of different settings here. A gelato setting is actually going to just churn it a little bit slower than the ice cream setting. So that's what I like to use. And now our dash is on, our compressor turned on. This is a three-phase air-cooled product, so it's a little bit louder than a water-cooled. But anyway, let's kind of move back this way, Madeline. This will now move and start to freeze down. Generally speaking, if it's the first batch of the day, this will take somewhere between 10 and 12 minutes. But the idea with production is that you want to be able to put back to back to back. So in a production day, where let's say I was doing more of my caramels and so forth. Oh, I might need a bottle of water. Sorry, man. So I might start with a batch of vanilla, and then I might go maybe to a cheesecake, to a salted caramel, to a butter pecan, and then to a chocolate. Thank you very much. So that way I'm utilizing the cold barrel as I go throughout the day, and my batch times are shorter, my freeze time is shorter, so those ice crystals are getting frozen down a little bit quicker. You're using less power, you're paying less time for someone to make ice cream. So having the ability to kind of predict or project your production days on certain days are pretty important, I think. Now, another thing that you'll need to do in preparation is whatever you've got as a condiment. We're going to put these chocolate flakes in here. I spilled a bit of vanilla. We're going to put these chocolate flakes in. So we're going to put these actually in the freezer as well as our bucket. Liz, would you mind grabbing one of Tim's buckets down there, the kind of shorter, flat ones? We're going to make this in a 1.5 gallon because we don't have a big batch freezer to go by. Now, I'm putting these in the blast freezer. I'm going to get them nice down to temperature. I'm also putting the bucket in there as well. One of the tips on making ice cream and having, again, these little touch points of quality is you want to make sure that the bucket that you are using is colder than the product going into it. For the most part, you've got ice cream coming out of batch freezers at about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, Dominic, if you're still with us. I've turned to the dark side. I've given up my Celsius. I'm now a US citizen, and it's beholden for me to use Fahrenheit now. So I've got a blast freezer over here. And I'm going to put both my bucket and my flakes in the blast freezer. Question away. What do we got? Dominic's back again.
Is there much for sale at the trade show floor, or is it like the Harrogate show where it's mostly just tastings? I'm trying to figure out if I should bring some excess baggage.
Now, Dominic, that's a great question. Dominic asks, are there things to buy actually on the trade show floor, or is it more tasting and talking to distributors? By the way, Dominic, have we met? Because I go to that Harrogate show most years, speak at the event. I help judge the UK ice cream competition. So I'm interested if we've chit-chatted before. Anyway, it's a great question. Look, we have the auction that I mentioned before, that you can actually bid on items and take them away with you. And again, they can be things like smaller things, like maybe what's a face's handbag you want to take back to someone special in your life. But you've also got cups, cones, the whole box of dice. A lot of the item auctions are actually shipping is factored into the donation. So if you end up purchasing, 4 gallons of vanilla, then that will be shipped to the UK. Just don't tell anyone you're from the UK before you pay, because that way they won't want to ship it to the UK. I will tell you also that a lot of our vendors have products for sale. You'll take a whole lot of samples back with you as well. So, look, if it costs you an extra $50 to $70 to bring an extra bag, I certainly will do so. Remember, Dominic, we're in Las Vegas. You may be taking back a bag full of cash. So I would bring the extra bag, absolutely. Any other questions while we're freezing down here?
He responded, yes, you gave me the hard sell at the Harrogate show, and that's why I'm coming to Conecon.
I gave you the hard sell at the UK show, and that's why I'm coming. Mate, come and see us. We'll give you a warm embrace as an Australian-American UK collaboration. Can't get better than that. We're the allies. We're the allies. Anyone from Europe, it's fine. You can still come. We'll give you a hug too. Now, let's kind of just check back on our chocolate, unless we've got any other comments, questions. You can see now again, it's a smaller batch. We only did 4 quarts, 4 liters for you, Dominic. And we're getting some nice traction here. I generally like to do a spatula test. So a spatula test is where you're just putting a spatula underneath the gate there, and you can basically have a look and see what the consistency is like. I like to extract it a little bit firmer than most. So you've got a nice matte consistency here. So I'm getting pretty close to extracting that out. Also, you'll find that when you're extracting product out, the machine will actually let you know when it thinks it's ready. So right now it's beeping at me. There's a torque control. Most machines have it, where it's saying, hey, I'm working hard here to start churning this ice cream. Is this something that you want to do? And if you say, no, machine, I would like to pull it out a little bit firmer, it'll beep for a little while, and then the compressor will kick back on to extract it. So I'm pretty well ready to extract here now. So I'm going to get out our buckets, and I'm going to get out the chocolate flakes that we're ready to go. Madeline, if you want to kind of zoom down to there. So here's my bucket. Here are my flakes. Now, a couple of things about extracting. You want to make sure that you push the product into the corners of the bucket. And I know this is a round bucket. It doesn't have corners, but it actually does. Right here in the corner, you do not want air pockets. Those air pockets will basically crystallize over the fluctuation of temperature. You don't want that at all. So we're going to hit extract. Open up our front gate here. Is anyone filming this? Anyone want to film it? It looks beautiful. Here is now this is our double chocolate, remember? So I'm going to take this and just massage it or push it into the corners first so that there's no air pockets. There's always a delicate situation here because you don't want to push the air out of it, but you do want to make sure that it's coming out nice and firm. Now I'm going to shut this down here. I've got about an inch or so, and I'm going to put my chocolate flakes in. These are beautiful chocolate flakes. They're formulated so that they maintain their structure, but they still don't get too hard to bite. So we'll just fold them over. Again, it can be somewhat problematic if you're extracting too firmly because it's kind of a little bit hard to move it around. That's my preference, so I do prefer to extract it out a little bit more firm and soft. Here comes the second round. Now, this is a variable speed extraction process, so I can actually up the speed on this and pull this product out just a little bit faster. It's a nice little feature of the Carpigiani. Thank you very much for your sponsorship of the show. Now, remember, while you're dilly-dallying around here, you've got product in the batch freezer that's kind of warming up a little bit. So you don't want to take too long in folding this product through, whether you're variegating product or adding chips. We'll get the last little bit out here, and then we'll layer it on the top. Now, if we wanted to put a swirl in here, you could actually take a variegate ribbon, and at that 1 or 2 or 3 inch mark, you can stop the batch freezer. We'll slow that down right there. You can stop the batch freezer, put a variegate in. iRice, another great company here who is a sponsor, make beautiful chocolate variegates. You would basically put it in and stir it around or draw it through. You can either have it layered or make a swirl, and it'll really do a great job of kind of layering and giving more content or more structure to this this thing. Madeline, let's take it back to the table over here and we'll finish it off. I will say that a couple of things that to be aware of when it comes to the freezing process. So a lot of people ask about blast freezers or hardening cabinets. Now, a couple of things about it. The first one is that I do believe if you're doing a dairy product like this, that you should have some form of hardening cabinet. Now, you may say, Steve, well, my storage freezer is at minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, Dominic, I'm leaving you out again, but it's all about the structure of this being dropped down as fast as it possibly can. So yes, your storage freezer might be at minus 20, but you want to get this product down to minus 20 as fast as you can. And generally that's a hardening cabinet use or a blast freezer. We actually utilize a sensor system within our facility here. Again, another sponsor of the show, ABW Innovations. You'll see them on the website. You'll see them at the show. They make temperature monitoring and alert systems. So we have one of those temperature sensors in our blast freezer, one in our dipping cabinet, multiple in our refrigerator and multiple freezers, which not only alerts us that there's a problem if we've lost power or one of the compressors has malfunctioned, but it also gives me a record of how quickly that product temperature dropped, how it stayed, and where it was. So it's almost like almost added peace of mind that my product is safe, and I can actually confirm that it is based on that. So ABW Innovations, fantastic. Thank you very much. They are a sponsor as well. Go and see them at the show. We're going to put our last layer of chocolate chips on here. Look, I'll give it a bit of a stir just to make sure that that top layer goes okay. I'll smooth it out. Remember too, don't be too shy in dressing this. I also do believe that you should be dressing these ice cream products each morning. If you are in the premium ice cream business and you're using a 1.5, 2, 3 gallon bucket, make sure you're dressing this each and every day. Don't let the gelato people have all the fun with making sure that their product looks great. We're going to dip one of these beautiful color changing spoons in. Mitch and the crew from Frozen Solutions do the color changing spoons. They are a platinum sponsor this year as well. So you can put it in yellow, comes out orange. Oh, beautiful. Fresh triple chocolate chip ice cream. We started with a 10% custard base. We put in a chocolate extract with some Cargill chocolate powder, layered that through, a little bit of pure vanilla extract to kind of enhance that flavor, ran it through our Carbigiani, extracted it out, went through this process. Now, one of the big things I think you should be doing is protecting this before it goes into the blast freezer. Scanning for my wax paper. Thank you. So I generally put a wax paper sheet on top of the product, not pushing it into, but just very gently. I find that that protects this top from oxidization. If you put the lid on this in the blast freezer or the hardening cabinet, a lot of that shock, a wind chill, doesn't permeate the lid and you don't get that structure held as quickly as you can. So let's do, I'll just show them one more time. So this is where we're at. This is our triple chocolate chip. Does it look delicious on camera? It certainly is delicious in person. And this is an example of some of the product that you can taste. You can talk to these vendors. A lot of our vendors have products to taste. You can order right there. There's generally a show discount for a lot of our exhibitors as well. They are very excited about this process of hosting you as an attendee. Let me just pop this back into the blast. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. And look, let's kind of round this out with any other comments or questions. If you're just new to the conversation here, we're talking about Conecon, the trade show and convention of the North American Ice Cream Association. Today is the last day of early bird registration. So before midnight Central Time, if you buy your tickets, they'll be $100 cheaper. After midnight, you're going to pay an extra $100 for your original ticket and your additional tickets. Look, we try and be unbiased here at the association, but I think it's going to be one of the best investments that you will have this year into your business. You're going to meet like-minded people. The networking process is incredible. We've got over 140 booths, suppliers that have everything from equipment, cups, mix, toppings, flavors, nuts, insurance, dipping cabinets, the whole thing. And particularly if you're used to coming to some of these shows, I think you'll see how fabulous and how wonderful this show is. The 3-day itinerary or the agenda is on the website. Everything you need to do is at conecon.org. You can look at the trade show floor. You can look at the agenda. You can look at who our keynote speaker, who, by the way, is Craig Culver himself from Culver's Restaurants, a family business that exploded across the US. Can't wait to hear what Craig has to say. A lot of different breakout sessions. Honestly, it's again, one of the best events on the trade show, ice cream trade show, trade event market. Ladies, what have we got for comments and questions? What do we got?
Don't forget about the ice cream scooping competition.
Don't.
I'm ready to defend my crown.
Oh, look at now. Who is this? What's his name? Jason. So last year we had 2 new events, which we are continuing this year. We have the paletta or popsicle competition that happens on the 2nd day. So if you're in the popsicle business, you want to enter that, be the country's most highly voted blue ribbon trophy winning paletta or popsicle, you can go to the website. You can see under the convention tab, there's a compete section and all of our different competitions are there. Don't go clicking on clinic or flavor of the year or flavor of the year non-dairy. They closed last night, but you still can enter the paletta competition. That's a great competition and great visuals, by the way. That happens on the trade show floor all 2nd day. Evan and the crew have put a great program together in that paletta competition. But also throughout the show, we run the Golden Scoop competition. First time we ran it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Liz and Madeline, but it was a 4-ounce cup. Or was it 5 ounces? I think it was 4 or 5 ounces. And well, Jason would know. How many is it, Jason? That you need to get a certain amount of ounces per cup and a certain amount of cups per time frame. Generally, it's about 1 minute. And I think the final goes up. Yeah, 4 ounces it was. Jason came away from that victorious. He held the Golden Scoop above his shoulder like it was the Wimbledon trophy, Dominic. Kissed it a couple of times, held it above his head. And honestly, I think he's ready to be taken down this year. So if you think you are a very consistent, good scooper of premium ice cream, you can register for that at the registration desk on the 1st day. There's no pre-registration for the Golden Scoop. When you get there on the 1st day, or if you're there for the pre-convention activities, go up to the registration desk. Say you want to register for the Golden Scoop. Jason, I tell you what, you don't have to pre-register. We're gonna let you straight in, because I feel as though you will need to save your energy, because there's a whole lot of people gunning for you, my man, to hold up the Golden Scoop. So thank you for being on here, though. That's a great competition. You did a great job. There'll never be anybody else, Jason, that basically can say that they won the first ever Golden Scoop Award. Well done. Any other questions, comments?
Dominic said, do I need to bring my own scoop?
You don't need to bring your own scoop. In fact, it's a breach of the rules, Dominic, to bring your own scoop. You've actually got to use the scoops provided. That would be quite the upset if Dominic actually took the Golden Scoop trophy offshore and back to the UK. We'd basically go back to the war of the Commonwealth War, where we'll be fighting over the Golden Scoop. Look, I jest. We're not going to do that. Maybe we will. Okay, what else have we got? Any other comments, questions?
Sue says, will you be singing this year at Conecon? I'm not sure I will go if you aren't.
Okay, who's Sue? Is that Sue Cloder?
Yes.
Okay, Sue, I'm going to give you a little snippet of singing. And look, Vegas. What better song to sing in celebration of Vegas is a little bit of Elvis. I can't help falling in love with you. So that's a little snippet for you. That was a general falling in love with you, everybody too, not directed at anyone specifically apart from my beautiful wife, Caroline. if you're watching, Caroline. Sue, let me tell you about Sue Cloder. Sue is a very humble person, but Sue heads up the scholarship committee. Sue has grown this process over the past 5 years. We used to give out $7,000. Is that right, Sue? Was it $7,000 5 years ago? That has actually grown to $40,000 a year. And I think last year we capped our $300,000 scholarship given out over the years to college participants. So thank you, Sue, for all of the work that you do in that scholarship committee. It's fabulous. I'm telling you, if you haven't been to Conecon before, this collaboration of people and events and happenings and product is just, I just can't describe it. It's very, very rare that we would have anybody at the end of that event to say, you know what, this was not worth me coming. Even if you take 1, 2, or 3 ideas away from 3 full days of events, it can revolutionize your business by tens of thousands of dollars. Kelly Larson, who's the current president, keeps talking about events and things that she took away. She does a program called Cool Schools. She learned it at convention from somebody else. She has conducted this Cool Schools campaign in her market and helped schools raise money for books and so forth, but has also net revenued tens of thousands of dollars over years by an idea that she saw presented at the show. So honestly, again, I try to be unbiased, but don't look at the $750 odd for first person. I think it's $560 or whatever for the second and further people. Yes, there's a commitment to there, and we certainly, as a convention committee, try and make sure that we can keep the costs low. Vegas is a very expensive place to do a show, but I honestly think that this will be the show to end all shows. If you ever want to come to a show and spend that full 3 days, this will be the show. I just want to touch on 2 things. Don't want to keep going. How many people we got on here? Still got 20 odd? Okay. So 2 things. One is that, well, 3 things. One is early bird registration closes tonight. It closes in about 9 hours. You're going to save $100 per person. Secondly, we hear you. The hotel blocks at our discounted rate have been sold out. If you follow the link on conecon.org to say book your hotel room, you'll find that the hotel rooms are something like $300 a night. We told everybody very early this was going to be a very, very big show. Get in early and reserve your hotel. We are going back to the hotel currently to negotiate a further block of rooms. But honestly, the rooms sold out quicker than they ever have before. We've had more rooms than we've ever had before. So keep an eye on the website. We'll actually put a notice when and if rooms are available. We're working on it. Our goal is to be able to get discounted rooms for you. And third, we have actually sold more tickets only 2 months into this event than we have for all of last year's total event. So it's going to be a collaboration of ice cream makers, wholesalers, scoopers, suppliers like nothing has ever been seen before in this industry. And I honestly would recommend that you get in today, buy those tickets, and support our sponsors. The main sponsors for our event, ABW Innovations, they do our Shop Century monitoring systems. We've got Frozen Solutions, Cups and Spoons. You've got iRice, flavors, toppings, fudges. You've got Cargill that are doing chocolate powder, chocolate pastes. You've got Lloyd's of Pennsylvania, a great mix company based out of the East Coast. And you've got Carpigiani as well. And for our competitions, we have great sponsors for our competitions. We've got Meadowvale, based out of Chicago, another great mix company. They sponsor the Ice Cream Clinic. You've got Pre-Gel. They sponsor our Flavor of the Year competition. And then finally, Frozen Solutions, a double dip on Frozen Solutions. They're always very, very supportive of the association, sponsoring the Flavor of the Year non-dairy. Before I leave, I haven't even touched on, if Christine's on here, she's probably saying, when are you going to mention about the ice cream tasting? On the 23rd of this month, we've broken all the records so far as submissions for the ice cream competition, right? So all of this ice cream is going to be shipped to our facility here in St. Louis. A portion of them will be shipped off to Cornell University to be judged both sensory-wise and analytically. And then we are going to take all of that ice cream down to the convention. And throughout the convention, you'll be able to taste and vote for the Flavor of the Year and the Flavor of the Year non-dairy. It is one of the best aspects of the show, I think, because I don't know how many submissions we've had for Flavor of the Year. It's over 100. Same with non-dairy. It's over 50 or 60, I think, this year. So you're going to be able to taste these super creative, traditional hook flavors, signature flavors that all of these ice cream makers are making from all over the country. Again, if that was the only thing that you could do and taste all of those ice creams and be inspired by ice cream makers around the country, around the world perhaps, then that would be worth the ticket of admission. So let's round this out, ladies. Anything else? Any other comments, questions? Hey, thank you for joining us. Again, we don't usually live stream and make ice cream association-wise, but we really did want to make sure that everybody got the word about the early bird closing tonight. Again, jump on there. We really honestly cannot keep it any longer. We've had people typing in saying, can I still submit ice cream? Honestly, the workload that the office is under here in order to kind of maintain boxes, ship boxes out, maintain hotel rooms, all of that thing, it's huge. And we've got to maintain the rules for everybody. So once midnight at Central Time happens tonight, all of those prices on the website will go up $100. So do yourself a favor. Get on there tonight and or this afternoon. If you haven't got tickets yet, book tickets and keep an eye out for hotel rooms. Again, we're negotiating with the hotel. We basically sold out over 1,400 rooms within a month and a half. So we can just tell it's going to be a great event just by virtue of the fact that people get in early and book their hotels. We've sold them all out. So unless you have anything else for me, thanks for staying up, Dominic, and thank you for staying up for the gentleman or lady in India. It's great to have you here on these live streams. Reach out to us on our Facebook page. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more of these sessions. We do lunch and learns every month that are similar to this, where members are sharing skills and so forth. We do a podcast that's available where most podcasts are being learned. Don't tell Caitlin, but we didn't do one on Monday. It's usually every Monday, but honestly, we are so flat chat in the office this week with registration closing, with the clinic closing. Look, I just haven't had time to do it. I'm sorry, Caitlin. I'm sorry. So give me the week off. We'll bounce back next week with a vengeance. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to us. We'd love to see you with the show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Continue to have a great season. And we'll see you in Las Vegas in November at Conecon. Conecon.org. It's all there. Bye, everybody. Bye.